Everybody's calling me Bhabhi or yeah, Bhabhi too especially.
Bhabhi too.
Yeah, yesterday I was at the airport and people were like Bhabhi, Bhabhi, and I was like,
Really?
where do I hide? I obviously told him that he's my favorite actor, and you know, sabka hota hai na. There's one actor that you really want to work with, and in my case, there are 3-4. And fortunately, उनमें से 2 के साथ काम कर लिया है मैंने.
Who was the other one apart from?
I always wanted to work with Vicky Kaushal, and I got an opportunity to work with him. There's this film that it's one of my favorite films, Good Deal.
Yes.
It's Jaya Bhaduri's and Jaya Bachchan's and now Bachchan's and Dharmendra Sir's film. And you know, there's this scene in the film where he takes her to set and he shows her. There's this, like, he's shooting for a film and there's a set which is like in a bad state, spoiled, and he says, किसी ज़माने में यहाँ पे बिमल रॉय की फिल्म शूट होती थी और आज देखो खाली पड़ा है. एक लाइट टूटी भी नीचे गिरी होती थी. And he says that किसी ज़माने में ये लाइट किसी इंसान का चेहरा चमकाने में काम आती थी, और आज ये खुद नीचे पड़ी है. तो हमारे साथ भी यही होगा. आज एक्टर्स हैं, जब तक रोशनी पड़ रही है लोग फॉलो करेंगे, पीछे भागेंगे. जिस दिन रोशनी चली जाएगी मैं भी अंधेरे में खो जाऊंगी.
Hi Triptii, welcome to News 18.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very good.
I'm sure. But you know, before we start the questions, tell me, should I refer to you as Bhabhi too or the national crush of India?
Anything you like. Everybody's calling me Bhabhi or yeah, Bhabhi too especially.
Bhabhi too.
Yeah, yesterday I was at the airport and people were like Bhabhi, Bhabhi, and I was like,
really?
Where do I hide?
But that's a great thing, right?
It is a great thing.
I mean, that means everyone has watched the film.
Yeah. A lot of people have watched it twice, thrice, which is such a great
I've
feeling.
watched it twice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes. You know, Triptii, your Instagram has skyrocketed. That is what a lot of headlines are stating. Animal is a part of every thread, every post, conversations on social media. How are you all taking it in?
It's overwhelming for sure. Like, first day, I was a bit nervous. I honestly didn't expect that people would, you know, I knew that the film would do well, but I was not expecting this kind of a response for Zoya. I thought, okay, it's a small role, it'll come and go, and yes, few people might notice it, but I wasn't expecting to receive so much love, and it's just been overwhelming is one word. And you know, I haven't been able to sleep for the past
because
of the excitement. Every night, you know, it's how when you're in school and you have picnic the next day, that excitement keeps you up. It's just the same way. I mean, every night I'm just checking my messages on Instagram, and my friends and family, they've been keeping a track of my followers, and they keep sending me screenshots every now and then. So it's a wonderful feeling. Obviously, you feel great when people you know, watch something that you've done and they like it and appreciate your performance. It's a good feeling. So I'm in a good space, I would say.
Absolutely. Have you had the time to celebrate yet?
Not really.
The rest of the cast members?
Not really. I've been actually traveling a lot. So I will celebrate soon, hopefully.
Yeah. You know, I just remembered something. It hit me now. I mean, you know, there was Laila Majnu, there was Bulbul, there was Kala, and interestingly, you played the title character in all of them. And now there's Animal. I mean, you know, from the surface, from the look of it, it seemed like a very small character, a character with a limited screen time. Yeah. But the, you know, impact it left, we all know. When you got the script from Mr. Vanga, was that something, a thought at the back of your head that, you know, this part is too small after doing 3 title roles?
Not really, because, you know, that's not how I look at acting. I feel like I am someone who, I've always been in love with acting since day one. Like, I want to play interesting and challenging roles, and I've always said that in all my interviews, that, you know, when something challenging comes up, there is something that happens and you're like, wow, this is something I would love to, you know, this is one person that I would love to be. And it's such a special gift, I feel, acting, you know, in one lifetime you get to experience so many lives, and you get to be so many different people. And that's exactly what I felt when Zoya was offered to me, because I remember having this chat with Sir, and he said, this is a negative character, there's limited screen time, I'm telling you now only, I'm not going to, sugarcoat things. But it's an interesting one, and it is a negative character. She's someone who's coming into his life with a motive. But when the audience, when they see her now, I don't want to see that motive. I want to see innocence. I want to see love for Ranvijay in her eyes. And that was like, oh wow. Because, when you think of playing a negative character, there's a certain template that you follow.
Right.
Because you've seen films and whatever you watch, that is how you learn, right? You watch people, you learn and take something from the characters that you watch. So in my head also, मैंने सोचा था कभी कि someday if a negative role is offered to me, how will I play it? So there are certain things that you want to do with your body, with your eyes and this and that. Yeah. But then everything was taken away from me. He's like, you can't do all of that. You still have to carry the motive. Yeah. But I don't want the audiences to see it.
Absolutely. It's very interesting what you said, because, till the very end, I mean, at least me, I couldn't have guessed that, she's
a mole. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to give out spoilers. I mean, I'm sure a lot. No, but you know what I am saying. Yeah. Okay, so Triptii, the other 3 films that I mentioned gave you immense critical acclaim.
Yeah.
They still make it to film pages, widely discussed. But Animal's success is, so to speak, your first commercial blockbuster.
Yeah.
Were you seeking this kind of a validation?
I wasn't seeking anything actually, to be honest. I just wanted to, do a film with, say RK, or I just wanted to do this film because, as I told you, the character was interesting. I, in fact, didn't even know that it would be, that we would get such a lovely response. I knew that the film would be big and the film would get a lot of love, but I didn't know that my character especially would, be noticed and would get so much love as it is getting right now. So that was not a plan. Like, it just happened, and I'm very lucky and grateful that it happened. But I mean, it's not something that I'm seeking also as an actor, because
you're not seeking stardom.
For me, I've always said this, that acting is a part of my life. Yeah. It's not my life. There are many aspects to my, there's my family, there's friends, there's me, personal time, then there's acting, and then there are other things as well. So I want to come to a point where I can balance it all and live a happy, healthy life. I don't want to give my 100% to something and not give anything to the other parts of my life, because then what's the point? Few years down the line, you'll look back and you'll be like, yeah, I didn't attend my best friend's wedding.
Absolutely.
I didn't go to my brother's graduation.
Yeah.
And then you look back and you feel sad, and what's the point? You lose out on life chasing different things. So I want to come to a point where I can balance it all. And it gets difficult at times. I mean, it's not always easy. At times you have to give priority to one thing. But yeah, I think just being aware of these things kind of, it just helps. Because you can't attach yourself also so much to the result, because there's this film that it's one of my favorite films, Good Deal.
Yes.
It's Jaya Bhaduri's and Jaya Bachchan's now Bachchan and Dharmendra Sir's film. And there's this scene in the film where he takes her to set and he shows her, there's this, like, he's shooting for a film and there's a set which is like in a bad state, spoiled. And he says, किसी ज़माने में यहाँ पे बिमल रॉय की फिल्म शूट होती थी और आज देखो खाली पड़ा है, एक लाइट टूटी भी नीचे गिरी होती थी. And he says that किसी ज़माने में ये लाइट किसी इंसान का चेहरा चमकाने में काम आती थी, और आज ये खुद नीचे पड़ी है. तो हमारे साथ भी यही होगा. आज एक्टर्स हैं, जब तक रोशनी पड़ रही है लोग फॉलो करेंगे, पीछे भागेंगे. जिस दिन रोशनी चली जाएगी, मैं भी अंधेरे में खो जाऊंगा. And it's such a beautiful thing, it's such a beautiful lesson hidden in a film. Like, you can't be attached so much to these things, because someday or the other it's going to fade away. And you have to know it from the start, from the day you get it.
Yeah.
Because if you start attaching yourself too much to the outcome, then you will lose yourself.
That's
And just the thought of it is, scary.
Yeah. So the one thing we understood is that Triptii is not seeking stardom and she's also in super zen mode.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm happy is those people who haven't watched the 3 masterpieces that you have been a part of before this will now revisit
They are
them.
watching it.
And they are.
Yeah,
And they are.
yeah.
Triptii, you have sort of manifested working with Ranbir Kapoor. You have, been out there saying that, I have a crush on Ranbir Kapoor. He's my favorite actor. Did you actually get the chance to tell him that?
No, I was so nervous around him. I obviously told him that he's my favorite actor, and sabka hota hai na, there's one actor that you really want to work with, and in my case, there are 3-4. And fortunately, उनमें से 2 के साथ काम कर लिया मैंने.
Who is the other one apart from
I always wanted to work with Vicky Kaushal, and I got an opportunity to work with him. I want to work with Shahrukh sir, but वो अभी manifesting it. But yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, it still feels like वो मैं ही हूँ क्या फिल्म में, because होता है ना, at one point in time it felt like a distant dream. But
I was reading one of your recent interviews. You said that when you were shooting the scene where you and Ranbir are on bed together, you said that there were just 4 of us together on set. And Ranbir was actually constantly checking on you, how comfortable you are. Do you think it also helps, Triptii, when you have a co-star you can count on so much?
It does. I mean, you have to be comfortable performing those scenes because it's like you have to be comfortable.
Of course.
How can you not be? If you're not comfortable, people will see it. They will see it in your eyes, and then the whole scene won't make any sense. So it's really important that you're in an environment where people respect you as a person, and they respect your choices, and they respect what you're doing in that particular moment, and make it only about that and not about anything else. And I'm glad that I was with people who were actually like that. Like everybody, Sandeep sir, the DOP, Ranbir, everybody was like, anytime you feel uncomfortable, you just have to let us know, and we'll make sure that,
But are intimacy coordinators important for you?
I mean, as long as you're comfortable with your co-actors and directors, I don't know, I'm sure some people need them, some people don't. It depends from person to person. But I think I didn't really feel awkward, and I didn't feel like, okay, I need someone to guide me through it. Because it was taken very lightly as any other scene in the film.
Absolutely.
It wasn't, they were not making a big deal out of that scene. Oh my God, now we have to get into this scene, and this is a big scene, and this is that. No. This is the scene, you do it the way you did other scenes in the film. We'll be, there's a girl involved. Yes, we'll make sure that she's comfortable. Those were things that were taken care of. But you don't make a big deal out of these scenes, because at the end of the day, it's a part of the story. You're performing a scene.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But Triptii, if I may, I sort of disagree with you when you say that, it's just a part of the scene. In the sense, I think they were powerful scenes.
Yeah.
So, Triptii, why I think it was powerful is because in Animal, you are sort of using, that scene is like a powerful scene because you're taking revenge.
Yeah.
In Bulbul, again, we saw something where that was a different scene, of course. There was gender violence that's happening, which was again very powerful. The one you just mentioned in Kala now.
Yeah.
I want to understand for you as an actor, how important is it for you to sort of send out these messages through your films?
What messages exactly? That
the messages I'm talking in the sense that, they are scenes which are not just there in the script.
I mean, for me, I think the day you sign a film, and this is something that you learn in your acting classes. There was one time where I was really struggling with one character, and I just could not get myself to perform. I was just stuck, and I could not do it, and I was very unhappy, and I was questioning whether I should be acting or not. And I went into that zone, and I had a chat with my acting coach, and he's like, you're not, why you're not being able to perform? I said, why? He's like, because you're judging your character.
Okay.
You have so many questions in your head that you haven't answered for yourself. And when you build a character, And this is something that I learned from Anvita as well.
Okay.
When you build a character, you build an entire life of a person. Because see, if I'm playing a Bulbul or if I'm playing a Kala, I need to know those two girls as well as I know myself. I need to know how their childhood was. I need to know what they did when they were teenagers. I need to know what are the people they're surrounded by, what are the kind of thoughts that go on in their heads. Otherwise, what am I doing, when I'm acting? I'm just standing and delivering my lines, and then it would be very vague. So when you go through that entire process now, it just becomes a part of you, and it just things become very real. So whatever the character is supposed to feel, you start feeling like that. So when these scenes arrive in a film, you don't look at them as कि यार ये difficult scene है यार, कि यार ये rape scene कैसे करूँ, या ये suicide scene कैसे करूँ, या how do I do this scene where I have to be intimate with this person. No, this is something that is happening in this person's life, and you put yourself in that person's shoes, and you're like, you feel everything, and you feel a responsibility towards your director or towards the story or towards that person that you've created and spent time with all those months, that it's important that you do this with full honesty so that the story can go forward,
right?
And it can make sense to people. Because अगर बुलबुल का वो रेप नहीं हुआ होता, बुलबुल नहीं बनती बुलबुल जो थी in the second half.
बिल्कुल.
कला ने गाना ही
exactly, that's exactly what I was saying. They are such important, powerful scenes, even in terms of how the narrative is going ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to be in sync with also what the director is thinking. And nobody, honestly, fortunately, I've been with directors who are not just putting those scenes in films for the heck of it. Like,
absolutely.
There is a meaning, there's a reason why that scene is there in the film. It's not just there for people to enjoy. There is a reason behind it. There's a reason why the character is going through what the character is going through. And even after Bulbul and Kala, there were people who messaged me and said, why did you have to do that rape scene, or why did you have to do that suicide scene? But if you start thinking like that as an actor, then you'll be stuck with very limited options.
Right.
There'll be, every time you sign a project, if you start thinking, okay, this is the scene that I can't perform, that is the scene that I can't perform.
Right.
Sorry, my dad is not working in the industry to, you have to, you have to be, completely truthful to the characters. And that's what I aim to do personally in life.
Right. Post Kala, when I had asked you if you're doing animal, you said that, I don't know. So now you cannot say this. I'm going to ask you, are you doing Animal Park? Is that happening?
This is a question for the makers. I've changed the way I answer those questions now. This is a question for the makers.
All right. Okay, what's happening with Vicky or Vidya ka wo wala video?
You're going to find out soon. I am not sure if I can reveal much about that film right now at the moment, but you're going to find out soon. It's happening though.
And will we see you working with Vanga sir again?
Ask him.
I have taken all my chances without saying anything. There are reports that you're doing Spirit. Okay, but thank you, Triptii. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Animal continues to create a rage at the box office. We hope that continues.
Yes.
And all the very best to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, this is Triptii Dimri, and you're watching me on News 18.